Hello, and welcome to our podcast. Same last name.
Yes, we have a pen and a Sharpie. Get over it. Our podcast is going to be about how having a twin has affected our lives for our last lecture. So, let's start to when we were little.
Those were some interesting flicks. Don't know how it ended up turning out like this, but yeah. Now we're just gonna tell a story. My story is, I remember one night we were about to go to sleep, and before we would go to sleep, a lot of times because we shared a bedroom, we would just stay up and chat. Yeah, there was one night when we were talking and somehow we got on the subject of dreams.
Yeah.
And Gabby and I realized that we have had, in fact, the same exact dream, sometimes on the same nights.
Sometimes, yeah.
And that was just
or in the same time period.
Absolutely mind-boggling. It was a stupid dream about us being fairies in our bedroom, and stupid, but it brought us closer to be like, oh my god,
it was a weird twin moment.
That's so wacky and cool, and
it was a moment where you really appreciate that you have a twin. Right. I have a story too. This one is pretty interesting. Another odd sibling moment. I feel like those are things that people ask us about a lot, is if we have any twin powers, is what they're called mostly. But
sometimes we just talk at the same time. But
that's one of the things, is that we do say the same thing at the same time in the same kind of voice, and it freaks people out.
It doesn't happen that much, but sometimes
not often, but it's when we're on the same wavelength, we just blurt it out. Or sometimes when we're in the bathroom, getting unready or getting ready, we start singing the same song at the same time on the same lyric.
Yeah, that one's a little freaky.
Yeah, because that one happens often.
Yeah.
Multiple times a week, I would say.
And now we're going to talk about our sibling dynamic from when we were little. We weren't necessarily extremely tight-knit. We shared a bedroom, so at nighttime and in the morning we were together, but at school we didn't necessarily spend a lot of time together, because when we were little we had different teachers, because schools don't like to put twins together for the purpose of not wanting them to be lumped together or stuck together, too attached, because you do end up spending a lot of time with them. You live together.
You're yapping. Anyways.
Damn.
We weren't together too much. We bickered a lot. Little petty arguments. We would do it all the time, except for when Izzy and our older sister Emma were they were more tight-knit than I was with them, so I was kind of the odd man and just did stuff on my own. That's changed as we've gotten older, but we'll get into that in a minute. Mostly when Izzy and Emma were fighting, or Emma got mad at Izzy for annoying her, she would kick Izzy out, and then she would come hang out with me, and we would be on a good, it would be a good day for us, and we would hang out and stuff.
Yeah, our relationship ebbed and flowed. We weren't, as tight as we are right now, so.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not. So I feel like in middle school, and when we were just overall younger than where we are now, until we reached high school, I feel like mostly we were kind of ended up being lumped together, as we've been saying.
We were more so celebrated together.
If you don't understand what being lumped, is that birds?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they out?
They be out there all the time.
Anyways, by being lumped together, we mean being considered as one person instead of our separate
birthday
individuals.
Parties were together, which, if that's not your choice, really is not great, because what if I want to be celebrated for being born this day by myself? And no hate, no tea, no shade. I just want to be the center of attention, and I think that's okay. And I think that's normal, because when you're younger,
especially when you're younger and you have a twin, it's where it's I wonder what this experience would be like if it was just my sister.
Yeah.
Because Emma had her own separate birthday party, and we weren't involved in that, but when it was our birthday, especially because we were grouped together and we both got our own presents on that day, I specifically remember our older sister used to also get a present on her birthday.
Yeah, it just really...
Because they feel like she was left
and
out
having
because
a
we were
twin
being
is,
celebrated.
like, hard. I know, as a parent. But it was nice having somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into that. Dun, 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 dun.
High school.
COVID-19.
Oh,
The start
that was definitely not what I thought you were
of
going to
high
say.
school.
It was the start of high school.
Tragic, really.
It really was a horrible time, as we all know, for all of us.
I was weird.
Izzy and I really struggled. Our parents went through a divorce at the time, so we were going through a lot plus COVID, and we were also dealing with our own anxiety and depression from it, but also just in general. And we weren't getting the proper help we needed at the time, and like especially with...
to put it a long story short, we were going through it, and
Yeah.
we were going through it together because we were stuck together in this godforsaken house.
Yeah.
All day, every day, 24/7. And that was an adjustment for sure.
Oh yeah, for all of us. So many arguments, but also a lot more good times.
Quality time.
Yeah.
Spent together, being absolute weirdos because we were both so...
We were both weird, but I think everybody was weird during
strange.
COVID.
Yeah, everybody had their
It's
face.
not a fun time, but we also got stronger together because we bonded over struggling with school
Mhm.
because of our like emotional disrupt like in our house. We both like had trouble turning in work, and our mom would make us sit and like not have our phone, not have any devices, and just do our work.
We really got
and we
some
would do it
quality
together.
time together.
Because also in high school, especially in the start, we had more classes together, or like the same teachers, and we were taking the same class. So that helped us because we would help each other. Like whatever one of us didn't have turned in, the other would like help them do the
We
assignment.
would send it to each other. Let's be for real.
Yeah, and then
Sorry, Miss Freshfield.
and then vice versa. Like so we would help each other out with getting that, and I think that was really the start of our period where we learned that it's a good thing to help lift each other up.
Right.
Like
and like that's what
to work
essentially
together.
what you're here for, and like what I'm here for.
Exactly.
Is to be there to support each other, and that is why overall, throughout all of our life so far, I've really learned that Gabby will always have my back and my best interests, and I got lucky because
you were struggling with that thought
I've
this
learned
year.
up throughout my life until this point right here, right now, today, sitting right in this very bed, that Gabby will always have my back, and then I got lucky because I didn't have to go looking for somebody like that, because
Some people don't have
she's
siblings.
my day one, and
Or
I
twins.
think
A lot
that
of people
it's
don't
always
have twins.
beneficial to find somebody who you know truly has your best interest at heart, because their opinions and their observations about things will be extremely beneficial to you.
And also brutally honest.
Yeah, and like that is okay to have somebody criticize you.
We've
throw some
definitely
shade in your
learned how to take
direction.
some criticism from
Yeah.
having each other, because we, being twins, we say some rude shit, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna bleep that second word, but it's
Take it with a
definitely,
grain of salt.
yeah, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, pretty much.
Yeah,
We usually mean the best thing.
Being a twin is so giggly and fun and silly, but on a real note,
It's important to
She's my
have each
girl.
other, and like we've become best friends from having COVID and from having like
hey, I have never
gone
had
back to
COVID
school.
personally.
Well, I did, but I mean, I had it for Christmas this year. Anyways, from having each other throughout high school, we've learned that having our better times is way more fun than having our not fun times, and that we should focus on the time that we do have together, especially because now that we're seniors, which this is a topic Izzy and I don't like talking about, but we're gonna be not living with each other for the first time ever in our lives, and that's gonna be really hard, and we know that, but we're probably still going to have each other's back and be in communication the whole time while we're at college.
Yeah.
But we won't be in the same place, and we won't be able to just walk across through the bathroom to be able to see our twin, and like
Yeah.
that's something that's really hard.
Why are you talking about this?
Because it's something that we need to include. It's something that's gonna be really hard, but we have to learn that, because even though we're twins and we've had each other our whole lives, we're not gonna have each other for our whole lives. Like, we can't live together in the same house when we're older and like getting married and all that stuff. But like, we can't just stay together the whole time.
And no matter how many times I say I hate my sister, I never actually mean it.
Me too.
And y'all bitch don't even bleep it. You are not allowed to hate on this fine
Oh,
specimen
yeah.
of a lady.
The other thing is, we
Because
will call each other names as much as we
I'm
want.
her dog.
As much as we want, we will call each other names. Like, the most horrifying things you've ever heard somebody call each other, that's what we say to
Shay, you
them.
better count your days, because I still have not forgotten the time that you made my sister cry in middle school, and then I made you cry. Yeah, and that's why I stole your man.
Okay. As much as we call each other names, we will not let another person call each other names.
Right, and like that's what having somebody's back means, and like that is
And
why
that
you need to
has
find
happened,
somebody.
and it has been an
I
issue.
have made people cry. And I'll do it again. You would do it too for a chick. I was an employee, and I was gonna be an employee with us. But yeah, I just think that you should always try and find your person who will have your back no matter what, because having
It could be a friend.
another person's
partner.
perspective on things is extremely beneficial.
You
And
can't
that's
work
what I've
solo.
learned.
You can't work solo your whole life.
That's what I've learned.
You have to find somebody or find a team. Even if you don't have like that one person, have a team. Like,
Yeah.
it's always good to have another perspective, another point of view, and like,
Don't try and move
have
through life
somebody-
alone, because you never are.
you gotta accept help. That's
Yeah.
another thing. Like, you have to accept help when you need it. You need to admit it, and you need to find it. And if you've tried again and it's not working, you need to get an outside perspective, because a lot of times you can't figure it out on your own. That's also like what therapy is for. But we also have our own little therapist right here, that sometimes you gotta measure how big the problem is, and if your twin can help you, go to her.
So, if you have a twin or a sibling, try and get
Kaylee
close.
Scott?
Yeah, try and get close with them, because they actually are sometimes pretty good. But if you don't, find your person that you can move through life with, who always has your back, and you can always get their perspective on literally anything. And that's what we've learned. Peace.
Peace.